All right, continuing with our Fab 15, whip around, whatever we want to call it here, and countdown to the season, and joined by Ryan Osborn with Carmel. And got a chance to see you guys practice a little bit tonight, Ryan, and you got a pretty, obviously, some experience coming back last year, and it feels like some momentum coming back from what you did the second half of last season. And I'll start with Alex Kudo, because I know he's a guy that you rely on a lot, handling the ball, scoring the ball. He's got a lot of experience now, which time flies. It doesn't seem like he had much experience before, but how much will you rely on him, I guess? I'll start there and what you guys are doing this season.
He's been great for us since the end of last season, through the off season into this preseason, and obviously as we've got started in the first couple weeks. He's the only one on our roster that has been in practice for 4 years. He's been around it, he's seen it, and he's gotten tougher every year. So don't let up on him, and challenge him in a lot of ways, and give him a ton of credit because he responds, and almost in a way that he's starting to embrace tough things and challenges, and I like where his mind and his heart is right now.
You guys have another guy too. Not a lot of teams have size. It seems like it's harder to come by for some reason, or at least size who has experience and is in an upside like Evan Harrell does. But just curious what your thoughts are on him, and I know a lot of he's kind of thrown in the fire and had to do quite a bit for you guys last year. Now he's a junior. What kind of season do you think Evan's going to have this year?
Evan's made a lot of strides in the off season. I think he's put on maybe 15 pounds and playing more balanced, making good decisions, trying to stretch the floor more, shoots the ball well. His experience, he played, I think he got in some games even as a freshman. And then through last year, I think anytime you play on a team that goes through some of the ups and downs that we had last year, you grow immensely, and I think you come to appreciate the stuff that's hard. And when you're able to respond in a way that makes you a better player and person, it sets you up for handling adversity through a season. And we play a tough schedule, and that's what I think we get from Evan. He's a no-nonsense guy. Doesn't say a whole lot. He competes in every drill that we have, and you correct him or say something to him, he's yes, coach, and I got it, and not much more than that. So to have those two guys in a lineup coming back from last year's team with that kind of experience, when your two best players are your two hardest workers, in the most coachable kids in the locker room, everything else seems to fall in place a little bit easier.
It feels like especially since your tenure started here, this program's been known for defense. What you guys do on the defensive end, and just watching a little bit here tonight, that's definitely a priority, I would say, for you guys. How do you look? Do you feel like, and I'm sure no coach feels like they look great without having seen it on the floor just yet, but how do you feel like you'll be on that end of the court this year?
I mean, defense, it's effort. It's something that you can control, and more than anything, the physicality and the buy-in to just guarding people and making things tough is where it starts for us. You don't know how far along you are until you play another team. You feel good all you want, but it doesn't mean anything until you see somebody else. So it is rules, it is concepts, it is beliefs in what we do defensively, but more than anything, just trying to instill a competitive toughness. That's where we are, and my hope is that we get a little tougher every day, and we embrace that competitive spirit. I think our guys, they're not real sure what to expect yet. They're just totally bought on coming in and competing every day.
I know you have some obviously some seniors on this year's team, but a lot of juniors too. I mean, guys who got experience as sophomores, including, already talked about Evan, but Ben Bremer and Aiden Dickerson is actually only he was playing as a freshman. Jermichael Fountain played quite a bit for you guys. Julian Vogt, who I thought looked offensively, looked pretty good tonight for you. So what do you mention some of those guys, and what do you feel like they're going to bring to the table for you this year?
More than anything, they know what to expect from me, which I think is big when you go through a season. Julian started 5 games in the middle of the year last year. JaMichael started 5 games for the first 5 last year. Ben started the last 10, and I think Aiden maybe somewhere around there, the last 10. But all those guys as sophomores, like you're coming from a freshman practice, so you don't know what the competition is going to look like. You don't know what our practices are going to look like, and so for a lot of them early, it was eye-opening. And so then you can get in your feelings a little bit about how you're being coached or how hard it is, and now they've been through it and they have support from our older guys and they know what to expect, and I think just mentally we're in a better place. Hopefully that means the ball goes in the basket a few more times and we're able to keep it out a couple more times. But I feel really good about the junior class too, and you got Miles Wiley that's helped and kind of stepped in and done some other things for us, and he's kind of the same thing. This is first year in practice with us, and he's not trying to bite off more than he can chew. He's taking it a little bit at a time, and I think he's appreciative of every opportunity. So I like where we are, but like I said, I don't know what that means.
We'll find out soon enough.
That's right.
But Liam Mann is a guy that he had a chance to play with you guys in the Charlie Hughes, and a lot of people, I think, including myself, impressed by what he brought to the table. I know he wasn't here tonight; he's out sick. But what does he add for you guys? I mean, that's another good size presence inside for you.
He the first 2 days of practice last week, Monday, Tuesday, and I think in the morning, maybe Wednesday, for somebody that's not really played a whole lot of organized basketball, he picks up on things quickly. And he is big. He's 6'7", 210, 215, but he's not afraid to dive on the floor. He's not afraid of contact. He competes. I've seen a lot of really positive things that I think can help us in different ways. And as a senior, just having the maturity to go about a season and want to win. There's no selfish ambition there. He wants to be a part of a team and help the team be as successful the best that he can. And I don't think he has a whole lot of expectations or even really knows what that expectation looks like.
Well, again, talking to Ryan Osborn here. Last year, I remember talking to you, Ryan, about the I think it was around the Paul Logan tournament there, and you guys were kind of going through it at that point, and got a good win that day, and then I think lost the next day. But you were pretty confident things were turning, and your record didn't show it at that time. But did you see that coming with that team and the second half you guys were able to put together?
I didn't. I didn't know what the results would be. I knew we would continue to get better, and I would say that with all of our teams. I'm confident in our staff and our players, and regardless of the situation, our guys are sold on just improving. The whole thing of like falling in love with coming in and just competing every day and being better than you were the day before. To answer your question, no, I didn't know what the results would be, but I did think that we would be able to compete towards the end of the schedule, and ball bounced our way a couple times, and you never know. I mean, I felt like early it was hard because we could never get any traction. We didn't experience wins, and then you start to doubt a lot. You reverse that in the second half of the season. You taste a little bit of winning, and you start to believe a little more, and your confidence goes through. I mean, they go hand in hand. So taste a little bit of success, and I think it's easier to follow through. So I think that the run that we had at the end of the year was a result of just a lot of belief and confidence. And I think as a coach, you learn that too. Trying to instill some belief and confidence in your players when you're going through it. So I'm excited about what we have. I don't know what that means. I love. We're going to be tough. We're going to play hard. We're going to try to be more physical. We're going to challenge them in a lot of ways. But we are honestly just taking it a day at a time. I'm not a countdown guy. I don't know what's ahead other than we have practice and pictures tomorrow.
Well, there is games coming. I can tell you that much. You start next Tuesday against Zionsville, which is always a fun If you don't have a rooting interest, always a fun game if you're wanting to go see a game on Tuesday. But this is a chance, I think, for it's always fun this time of year. It feels like at the cusp of something new.
Yeah.
But at the end of this, your sectional is always so tough, and it's always fun as someone covering high school basketball. But it's tough for you guys, I know, and obviously it's basically the same grouping as it's been. So you know what that end looks like at least, and what it takes to get there. But your feeling on, I guess, what you'll need to do to be playing at your best at that time of year.
I wouldn't want it any other way. I mean, I think it's Indiana high school basketball at its best. You have an incredible environment. You have 6 really good teams. You're going to be locked in a competitive game regardless of the draw. And so just like everything else, I mean, you can equate it to our regular season. You can guarantee you're going to be playing a good team. And so if you get consumed with who or what they do, I think you can get distracted by from yourself. And for us, it's about being really good at what we do. And I have confidence that if we can continue to get better through the year, we'll have a chance. I don't know what that result's going to be, but I feel confident that our kids are bought in, they're locked in, they're going to compete every day, and as long as we continue growing through a tough regular season and through February, the beginning of March, we'll let the chips fall, and I'm pretty confident in that.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Ryan Osborn, Carmel High School. And again, they play Tuesday, and that starts. Everybody gets started either next week or the week after for the most part. So good luck this year, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot, Kyle.